Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? I'm Ned from That's Tech, but otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. And today I want to talk about AI breakup. And I'm not talking about breaking up with AI. I'm talking about the increasing amount of relationships that are breaking up because AI recommends it. And I'm definitely noticing a parallel between that and the TikTok algorithm that seems to break a lot of people up. If you are on social media, odds are you're not very happy with your relationship compared to others. Or maybe you're in an open relationship, or this, that, or the other thing. It's unfortunate. It really is heartbreaking, but the internet seems to be taking us away from each other. Now, that's one sad and nihilistic thing. When you look at the universe, basically, all the planets are moving further apart. All the stars are moving further apart because we all came from a big bang. Boom! We're all going out into these different directions. And eventually, we're not even going to be able to see any stars that are around us. And maybe, something might come after that. But what really makes me sad is it feels like within the relationship aspect of the internet of technology, it really seems like as soon as we add technology into this, we all connect directly into each other and we all start pushing away from each other. Now, it's not immediately, it's definitely over a period of time, but it is unbelievably heartbreaking to see. I was reading an article recently in r slash technology about a lot of relationships just breaking up as soon as you get AI into it. And man, I feel like Ong, the last airbender, when he's looking back at his previous incantations and they all look at him one at a time. Wow, a Buddhist thing, reincarnation, right? I mean, I feel like I'm seeing this in multiple places and it's just staring me right back in the face, and ultimately it's really heartbreaking. It's starting to seem like even old school relationships, you only get so many of them that are actually good, and the rest of them deteriorate into hell pretty quickly. Or just after a set amount of time, we all change. I'm not saying any relationship is particularly all that perfect, but one thing I'm definitely noticing is the more people you let into your relationship, the quicker it splits apart. The quicker it splits. Even before TikTok and AI were a thing, it seems like if you had a girl going out partying, if you had a wife going out partying, or if you partied with your spouse more and more, if you spent more time with other people, it's almost as if unless these people were a group of people that agreed everyone should stay together, then things kind of get dicey one way or another. Social media is definitely a great way to get people into our relationships and a great way of pulling us apart, which is heavily, heavily, heavily heartbreaking. Um, I've seen a few things recently that just kind of black pill me uh, towards the whole dating thing altogether, towards the whole commitment thing altogether. But one thing I'm definitely seeing is that the more we let technology and social media into our lives, the more we start going off in different directions. But here's the thing. Here's the thing most people don't quite understand. It's getting harder for everybody. And the disadvantages of breaking up aren't always very evident. They're not really all right there. And when we want to talk about how bad things are, it's very rare that we talk about the consequences that we run into when we break up, and it's easy to look over these things. But these days it turns out that the more that you look at your relationship through the scope of AI, the more AI will recommend that you break up. The more you talk about your relationships on TikTok, the more people will tell you it's time to break up, and that's unfortunate. Now, now that we're going through the situation that we're in the Western areas, things are getting more and more hard. It's getting more and more expensive to do things, And staying together as a family is looked more and more down upon, which is very unfortunate. The people training these AI, a lot more and more, they don't have these traditional relationships. And as time goes on, relationships are viewed as a completely foreign object. And we don't want that. And in all of this, I see the mouse experiment. And the mouse experiment was these mice are given everything that they want, and in the end, they wouldn't reproduce. They ended up putting themselves out of existence. I talked to a really intelligent guy from the UK that told me, well, if you don't have to work for anything, there's no point in doing anything. And then when I talked to a really intelligent guy who was from the Middle East, he said, dude, all of my uncles, as soon as they retired, they started dying. Just like that. Wow. Wow. It's almost as if I forget what book it was, but a very famous book where the last human went to the end of time and he saw the last humans evolving into white light, basically. And it's as if once we become this perfect being, then we just evaporate from this plane or something like that. But it's definitely really upsetting and it's really sad when we look at social media and our expectations in a lot of certain ways. And we see how many of them are pulling us apart. Social media is pulling us apart. Artificial intelligence, the more we put our information into AI, the more we fall apart. And it's remarkable. I don't want this to be true. What I want to be true is I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to be cool. I want everyone to be cool with one another. And I want technology to better us. Technology is making us smarter, but it's pulling us apart. It's making us more efficient, but it's taking away our eyes towards the souls. And it's easy to hide truth when truth is a moving target, that's for sure. But be careful. Be careful who you let into your life, who you let into your relationships, and what algorithms you let into your life and let into your relationships. I'm telling you right now, don't let the internet or anything connected to the internet control how you run your life. Just like you don't let the church control how you run your life. I'm talking to the general masses now. You know how most people don't like church and they don't like yeah, don't listen to church, don't listen to this, that, or the other thing. But hey, if you're not going to listen to church, and if you're not plugged into the church, what are you plugged into? And more, I'm seeing that people are plugged into their friends group, or they are plugged into social media, or they're plugged into artificial intelligence, or they're plugged into the idea of being a really cool person. And I see a lot of really cool people that just don't really care about anything. That's just my thoughts and chaos about all this stuff. Have a good one and take care of each other, will ya?